Out of the way.
I'm not
How's it
drinking.
going?
I'm not drinking any water. I did it.
You did it?
I did it. It's going pretty good, dude.
Yeah, you ready for this live?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I am. Still trying to get the soundboard to work, but I just don't think I don't think it's gonna work, man. Not right now. This is
Not
me
at the moment.
apologizing in advance, Jen. It's not gonna work tonight.
So how's it been since I last saw you 3 hours ago, 5 hours ago?
I took a kid to the doctor because that's my life now. So yeah, but otherwise it's good. I mean, that's not even really bad because the kid's okay, but
Look good.
yeah. How about
Hey
you?
guys.
What'd you do?
I went to Melissa's daughter's volleyball game.
Heck yeah.
Watched that. She did really good. It was awesome. And then we went to dinner. Went to Tacos Mexico. Had a really good yak chimichanga.
Ooh, on
Ooh.
that Star Train, huh?
It was pretty good.
Nice, dude. I like to hear that.
Definitely not on the Star Train, but the meat was good.
Good. What's up, Chancellor? Nice to see you.
All right, it's time to wake up.
Jen, thanks for not being mad at us. I don't know what's going on. So,
Welcome everybody to the show.
Later. Yeah.
Get this started.
Hey, how do you want to do that?
Welcome to Dillon and the Doc. I'm the Doc.
Oh yeah. That's the way to do it. There's a way to do it.
That's the way to get in there. I'm the Doc. I'm Dr. Ryan. I have expertise in relationship development and interpersonal communication, and I'm a professional coach by trade during the day. And I do what other coaches can't do, and that is get you on the fast track to recovering your relationship. Who are you?
I'm Dillon. Just
Hi, Dillon.
I am a sobriety coach that specializes in sobriety. Yeah. I help you get sober. I spent, about 2 decades drinking, spent the last over 3.5 years sober, which has been cool as hell. You like it too, I promise. And I can help you get there. So there you go.
Boom.
That's my thing. Saved like pretty much every relationship I've ever had that I was wrecking, that I wanted to save anyways.
Yeah.
Saved my life, most importantly, for those of you that aren't aware. And my marriage and my kids and all that stuff. So sober's cool. You should try it. It looks good on you.
What have you noticed these past few weeks have been hard for you? What's the difference you noticed between being sober and what would have happened when you were drinking?
Oh, dude. with kids being sick and all this stuff. Oh, dude.
You being sick and the wife being sick.
I promise you I wouldn't be still having the show. I would have given you every excuse in the world. Like if somehow we were in an alternate universe, I wasn't a sober coach, I was some sort of other coach.
Yeah. I
would have not showed up. Like, yeah, dude, fucking everything's on fire. And because it's on fire, I can't make it. And then would like be playing video games or, honestly, probably screwing around on my phone, not doing a damn thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was best at when I was drinking. What I would be doing is avoiding my wife and spending time with her and everyone. So
what are the tools you've learned and used to get over these last 2 weeks? What's been like kind of the biggest?
Dude, I got robbed of one of them. The gym. It sucked.
Yeah.
There's a week I was out of the gym. That was not cool because I had the vid. You're not supposed to go to the gym when you have the vid. It's not ideal. So I didn't. Other tools are taking care of my other primary needs, like eating regularly, drinking water. Like these sound like no brainers, but if you're watching this and you're a drinker, they're not no-brainers when we're drinking. So yeah, just a lot of self-care, you know.
You forgot your favorite one, sleep. Did you get enough sleep?
I did generally get enough sleep because I couldn't go to the gym early in the morning, so slacked off, did a little more sleeping in than normal.
Heck yeah.
And then honestly, the tool I use the most is relationships with people.
Yeah.
I was a huge avoider of all things, not just responsibilities, but relationships when I was drinking too. Like Chancellor is I was the cancel king as well. You know, we're supposed to go do something like, no, that sounds like I have to do something. I'm not doing that. So staying connected with people is a really healthy thing to do, and it makes staying sober a lot easier too.
Yeah.
So
how do you know which people to stay in touch with?
The ones that drink the most are the ones I don't talk to.
Okay.
No, I don't. I honestly don't. Early in my sobriety, the people weren't the thing I avoided. Well, if I'm being honest, I didn't do a good job of avoiding people, places, or things in general.
Yeah.
Because you can't forever. But honestly, man, if people find people that value you and that you provide value to them, like you have a symbiotic synergy, more like synergistic relationship.
Yeah.
Those are the people you look for. You know, like if when you walk in the room, that person is like a golden retriever because you walked in the room, and you're also like a golden retriever because they're in the room, just so excited to be there.
Yeah.
Those are the people you want to spend your time with, you know? Like, did you ever watch Johnny Bravo as a kid?
No.
What?
No, dude. I wasn't like, I didn't watch Simpsons. I didn't watch Family Guy. I just didn't watch any of that stuff.
Hey, it's okay. No judgment here, but he has a talking dog. And his dog's always like, hey, man, let's go surfing, man. Let's go do this, man. He's just so excited. Like, that is what you should be like with the people you spend your time with. That's how you should do it. So,
yeah.
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 I would agree.
And I mean, honestly, if somebody, like, for real, when I say I didn't avoid the people, places, and things, that's a half-ish truth, like a 95% truth. If any of those people would have been like trying to force me to drink, I wouldn't have spent time with them. Like, you know, that's the reality. But like, I didn't have a problem being around people that did drink. I didn't have a problem going to bars, and I did those things. Like, they did those. And here to tell the tale, you know. But yeah, just cut out crap, people, man. I mean, unfortunately, some people want to see you fail. You know who they are. If you're being honest with yourself, you know who they are. Don't spend time with them. Like, there you go. You know,
how easy is it to become overwhelmed though when you don't avoid people, places, and things?
I would say significantly easier than if you do. I don't know. I mean, I don't have. Take this for what you will. I mean, this is my experience. For anyone listening, it's whatever. Like, you guys decide what you want to do with it. The only time that I decided to not avoid everything, all the triggers and all the substances and all that stuff, is the only time I've been able to stay sober since. Every time before that, I would like lock myself in a closet in a hole and just stay inside and avoid everything. And eventually I'd snap and I would relapse. And if you want my answer, and I don't care if you want my answer, I'm giving it to you anyways. It's because I was avoiding relationships. That was my issue the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
It was not so much that I avoided the people, places, and things, and that's why I relapsed. It's because when I saw a trigger, I just tripped, right?
Yeah.
It was because I was isolating, like avoiding all the things that actually heal your brain, help heal your brain when you're getting sober. So there you go. Is that
I like it. Yeah. I mean, it seems like there's two kinds of overload.
You tell me about it.
Like, you can, to me, it would seem like, especially with social media, if you were trying to get sober, you're inundated with so much.
Oh, you want to hit that
bullshit. Like, there's so much coming at you. You know, there's people for NA, people that are strictly religious, faith based, people who are research based, people who are anti AA, people who are I I don't know, into dolphins and shit to get
Hey,
sober. I don't know.
I'm down. I mean, I didn't know
Like,
that. I mean, I love to speak on that too, but um, I want to hear a little bit of your perspective on it first. Like you're like, cause I mean, I see the relationship shit, dude. Like b these algorithms are smart, man. They know that I'm interested in having like a healthy relationship with my wife. They know what I
yeah.
care about. So they feed me all sorts of shit about it, you know?
And
Um,
there's so many ways you can go with the overwhelm of information. One is I mean, we've talked about it before, and it's like when you go to bring up one issue with your partner, you only bring up one issue at a time. Otherwise, you're going to inundate them with information that they don't know how to deal with, and you're never going to get to the bottom of whatever conflict is coming up.
yeah.
Um, but also, like online, yeah, you have so many people who don't know what the fuck they're actually talking about when it comes to relationships.
Yeah.
None. They'll go to some of them don't even go this far. They'll go get a 30-day coaching certificate from whoever, and all of a sudden they know everything about a relationship. Well, they don't. They
Yeah.
know their experience with it, and typically they're 22, 23, 24 years old. Like, you're not at that age, you're not even statistically, if you get married at that age, your likelihood of divorce is already 75%.
Damn.
Like, you shouldn't even be getting married before you're 25, and here they are giving relationship advice to everybody, and they've never really even experienced it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my parents had the greatest relationship. Cool. I'm glad you lived that relationship and you can speak on it now. Like, you saw what your parents wanted you to see. I guarantee it.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. Yeah. I hear that.
So
Uh,
there's just so much information coming at people online that's just straight up false. It's not right. And it's hard to dig through that if you don't, especially if you're struggling in your relationship, you're grasping for straws. You're going to grasp at whatever you can to try to fix it instead of looking at what the correct stuff is to help you get through it.
That's like why I've spent hundreds and thousands of dollars on coaching throughout the
Yeah.
years because if I see people that have what I want, I can get what I want from those people. It
Hmm.
either get in there, somehow get in their circle. Like it doesn't maybe not even maybe coaching. Like it can just be someone in your circle wherever you're at. They have
Yeah.
something that you want. You like become their friend. You know?
Yeah.
Like that's how you can really not have to dig through things because
Yeah.
time collapse that like bending space time. You know, but
Yeah.
coaches are an excellent source for that. It's like I don't understand nutrition. I do more now because the dude taught me how to do it. You
Yeah.
know, um, I would still be floundering today and have spent tons of hours trying to figure it out otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
It's just it's the age of information and there's so much out there. We as coaches who have experience, who have knowledge, have to be louder, which is hard than these people who don't have the experience or the knowledge to get our voices above them, which is super frustrating to me because they're loud
Dude.
and they're ignorantly loud.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, they just spew off whatever comes to mind as fact,
yeah.
as holy writ.
What do you do,
Dude, there's like a gnat.
dude? I had there's a sobriety coach. I don't even know if you want to call him a sobriety coach, a sobriety dude. He's got like 100,000 followers on most platforms. And I only know about him because someone that came to me for coaching had already like worked with this dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, I'm not going to name drop. I don't need to
Yeah.
disclose costs or anything like that. But this lady paid this dude, and his program was a diet and a billion other things. And but the foundation was the diet, okay, to get sober. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But when you have a coach that instantly overwhelms you with information, like that's not always a very good sign, because it doesn't mean 1,000,000% expert. It means I feel slightly insecure in what I can give you. Here is 10 million tasks for you to somehow accomplish right now, on top of also trying to stay sober, which is hard as hell.
Yeah.
Good luck. And then I don't have to deal with the repercussions of the decisions that you make.
Yeah.
So see ya, you know? And that was basically her experience, you know, as told by her. I mean, that's, for the record, I have to assume she's telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me, you know, and it kind of bummed me out. I'm like, damn, dude, there's people out there doing that. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I thought I'm very if you've been tuning into the show for very long, I'm insanely optimistic about everything all the time. So I have to assume that there's not these evil people in the world trying to do that. So
yeah. So I think overwhelm from an individual relational, I think it's just detrimental to your overall well-being and personal growth.
Yeah, I actually just filmed a piece of content that'll be coming out in like the next week or two, a piece about that. It's like, I did not get sober by quitting drinking and making sure I ate right and making sure I went to the gym and making sure I got plenty of sleep and making sure that I did this and then solved world hunger and then did this and did that, because that's just not how it works, right?
Yeah.
It's like I focused on the thing that was the best lever to pull on, and that was to get sober. You know?
Yeah.
And I did exercise to try to get sleep though, but not crazy. Nothing crazy.
I mean, when you can't overwhelm somebody who's struggling at the get-go. And
No.
you need them to start winning immediately. And you have to formulate that to help them start winning immediately, because you give them 50 million things, like you said, your diet, your exercise, your lifestyle. Just by quitting drinking, you've already flipped your whole life upside down.
Yeah.
Then you're adding other things on top of that. It would be miserable.
Yeah, you're giving me an excuse to relapse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to wait for that one piece. It's like playing Jenga.
Yeah.
Except like you don't care. You're just like, oh, dang it. Guess I need to drink about it. Whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, not ideal. I don't know. I mean, there is like, I like how earlier you spoke about, I mean, there's so many roads to sobriety, and none of them are right. And none of them are wrong. Because if you get to the destination, taking that road is the right road.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, there's people like I've talked about this on the show. There's people that do the pharmaceutical route. That doesn't make them less sober.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that go to therapists, people go to rehab, people that do all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that anything's wrong. I maybe think that the dude with the diet and overwhelm's a little bit off base, but there's probably some, I hope there's people he has helped get sober that way.
Yeah.
Because it's hard for me to believe that a human would keep doing it. Like just keep on over and over, like, oh, it didn't work for you. It didn't work for you. Too bad, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go.
I like it.
I mean, I'm overwhelmed and overloaded.
Are you?
Yeah, with everything we just talked about.
With life?
I mean, that's not a lie. Some days I wake up, I look at my to-do list and I just go, what the hell am I doing? But one step at a time.
Yeah.
One, how to eat an elephant, that whole
Yeah.
thing.
Right.
Start
then,
your day eating the frog.
Yeah. So then how do you go about multitasking on some of those issues when you have a lot? Like, when does that start to play into sobriety?
Mostly you don't. that's
Like,
kind of
how
my
do you, yeah, because you must have to relearn how to deal with distractions.
dude. I kind of went monk mode for a little while.
Did
I
you?
mean, I maintained relationships. I talked about that earlier in this show. But like way less social media use, like almost none in the beginning.
Why is that?
Well, because of everything you were just talking about. Because I don't know if you knew this, but there's a bunch of people that the program of sobriety that they push is a program of moderation. And if
Oh,
you're trying to get sober and the algorithm picks that up on you, like you'll get promoted ads from people that are like, you don't have to quit drinking. I can teach you how to like be okay. So it's like,
oh,
yeah. So it's like if you're, I think that was I remember I continued to see ads about that, and that was like really uncomfortable when I was first getting sober, because there was definitely still a part of my brain that was like, well, if you could do it,
yeah,
you
yeah,
could do it, And I'm
yeah,
like, whoa, 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 whoa,
yeah,
buddy.
yeah.
The other thing too is like, um, early on in sobriety, I was wrecked. Like self-esteem, self-confidence, all of
Mhm.
that gone. Like just gone. I'd been trying and fighting tooth and nail trying to get sober. I couldn't pull it off, right? So it's just like
Yeah,
my self-worth through my own eyes was very diminished. And then seeing people on social media that have all the shit that I want that I don't have hurt me to see.
okay.
Whether that's a realistic representation of their experience or
Yeah,
not
yeah,
doesn't matter. So that was part of it. Yeah, and I don't know, I didn't have like much to say at the time. I learned to shut up a lot when I first got sober, because I was like, I don't
yeah,
know shit, obviously, or I wouldn't be where I am right now.
yeah.
Um,
That was one of the things I've
yeah,
talked about it on the show before. My great grandma used to say, "Shut up and listen. You'll learn more that way."
yeah, yeah. I
Which
mean,
you kind in certain situations you kind of have to. I still use it. I say it to myself, especially when I'm talking to clients or anything like that. Just shut up. You're here to learn.
yeah,
I wish people could install that into their relationship. Like, just shut up sometimes and listen to your partner. You're there to learn. Like,
that's
quit
that's
talking.
me.
Is
That's
that
totally
you?
me. Oh, dude, yeah. And I mean, I work harder towards it now than I ever have before.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely like run my mouth. I don't dig such holes like I used to. I mean, my wife like literally would be like, she'd joke, she'd be like, give me the keys to the backhoe. Um, but now like, cause most of the time, if there's a dispute, I can, we can solve it together if
Yeah.
I just listen to what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Like she's better. Like it might not even be a thing going on with her. It could be a thing going on with me, and she's somehow better at telling me what is going on. And then I'm like, shit, yeah, okay, all right, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's a good thing to practice in your relationship. I
it's a
mean,
lot of
it's
practice.
the the underlying thing is it's active listening at its core. Just be quiet, listen, ask questions to understand.
Yeah, you remember those light bulb moments I was talking about earlier
Yeah.
on the show
Yeah.
about how I'm sure the viewers can be like, oh, he just figured something out.
Yeah.
That was every time we were talking active listening. I was like, huh. And then it frustrates me because like there's like two different college careers that I have.
Yeah.
Like they're the same but different. And the first half, while I was still drinking, or probably three quarters while I was still drinking,
Yeah.
I was just doing this stuff. Like had really good grades, but it was like swallow it up, regurgitate it, pass the class, move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And then after I got sober, I was like, damn, I'm a comm major. Maybe I should fucking pay attention to these theories and like apply them to my life and see what they do, you know?
Yeah.
So then in my own life, I still sometimes don't apply those things. And it's very frustrating to me because I'm like, I got like 40, 50 grand tied up into the wisdom of knowing better than to behave this way.
Yeah.
And then I don't take my own learning, you know? So I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
That's all right. I mean, at the undergraduate level, they give you just enough information to get you in trouble.
yeah, literally. Yeah.
You get just enough information to where you kind of understand what's going on, and then if you do put it into place in your life, you have like a 50-50 chance of it going really good or really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, been there. I've done the trial and error every step of the way.
Oh, in my interpersonal class, I'd have students like we would just learn about something, and they're like,
no.
"Oh yeah, I went home and tried this right away. It didn't." I was like, "Dude,
You know,
like you have just a very base. We got base level on this
Yeah.
understanding, and you went home and just tried to round out to your boyfriend or girlfriend, and yeah, things aren't going to go super well."
yeah, because anybody that like, I don't know, a chapter in a textbook, a college textbook, in the communication textbook, hey guys, you don't know this, Ryan knows this, I know this. The chapter will be like on an overarching theme, a theory, a concept, a large kind of meta thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That then has, I don't know, 50 or 100 sources at the end of said chapter. That is where all that stuff came from. So you can't take that little tiny thing based on all of this other data and go, I figured it all out, guys. Like, I know it all. And you're like, you haven't read any of those books.
No,
Like you never even touch the source material. You don't understand the theory.
no.
You understand it enough to pass the test maybe on Friday. Like that's
Yeah.
what you got. That's what you got.
It's only it's at the point where you get we call it saturation. Like in research, you would never even cite an undergraduate textbook because it's just there for learning. It's not there for research.
Yeah.
And so when you like write your dissertation, you want to get saturation in an area, meaning you have probably read 75% of the literature that is substantial in that one area. I mean, the reference page in my dissertation is, I think it's 30 pages long.
Yeah.
Like
Makes sense.
it's crazy to get that amount of information out.
Oh, that makes so much sense to me because that's like I wasn't playing at your level. I kind of got the mechanics of it though, because it was like I would write a paper and it was like you get a book on the thing that you're writing about and you look at all their sources and then you go find those sources and those sources until like you have read a ton about the thing. So then when you're making an argument, you're like, this guy and 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 this guy all agree that this thing is the way that it is. And I'd have classmates like, why'd you do that? Like, because that's what you do.
Like you had a better understanding than 99% of people in that same situation.
Yeah, it's like, no,
which is awesome.
Go get the source material.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
That's why we're doing this.
Original knowledge, my guys. I want to real quick. We got Chancellor asking a question over here. I don't want to. We're on the more. Well, we did it. We did the thing.
We did the thing again.
I don't know what it was. I'll find out now. Dillon, did anyone hold your drinking against to make you feel that you can never get sober? Me, I did that a lot to myself.
Yeah.
I would say, man, I built a lot of haters, like rightfully so. Like there's a lot of doubt in the crowd. My my wife, there was a time where she no longer had any belief in my ability to get sober. I didn't either. So why the hell should she? Why should
Yeah.
anybody? So I mean, and yeah, I mean, tons of people held it against me. I'd do stupid shit. Like they should have held it against me. Like, oh, remember when you pissed on my rug? You know, I never actually pissed on anybody's rug. It's a good reference. But I did have done a bunch of really foolish things in my drinking. So yeah, people would hold that against me. Yeah, I don't think anyone really like tried to make me feel like I could never get sober. Like that's what their goal was. I think that was me projecting my own experience on their words, like things I had to say. Does that make
Yeah.
sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Chancellor, I hope that's helpful. I mean, I don't know that it will be helpful, but that was my experience. So just didn't want to leave the guy hanging for too long.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if somebody, I don't care who it was, if they made me feel that way, that would be the last time they made me feel that way.
Bye.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like,
Yeah.
I can wrench you out of my life real quick.
Yeah. I didn't get really good at that until I was sober for a while. Like I'm good now. Like you don't belong. Goodbye. I don't need you
Yeah.
around, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the beginning of sobriety, I had pushed so many people away. There was a part of me that didn't want to lose anybody else anymore. I also learned that I had like a pretty like insecure attachment style in general. So it was like this anxious attachment to everybody. So I'm like just fearing everybody's going to abandon me all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I don't want to lose anybody by me telling them to go because I'm already afraid everyone's going to leave me anyways.
No, yeah.
So it's like I was not good at the boundaries like I am now, where it's like, dude, you're a liability in my life. I don't need you around.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that to you any other way. And I wish them all the best. I'm not like, I don't
What are the
dislike
types
these
of things
people.
people would do that would be a liability to your sobriety?
Well, people that literally have told me they wish that I was drinking still.
Yeah.
That's one. That's an instant one. I don't know that liability to my sobriety is the right answer. More of a mental health, defending my own mental health.
Okay.
Because that's generally where I stand at this point. It's like,
Yeah.
I closed the gates well before they could even start to touch on that. It's like, hey, like one thing I'll do is like kind of have this like 3-strike rule with people.
Yeah.
Where if you let me down somehow at some capacity, we're working together somehow 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
There's not a fourth, because like, I mean, I got kids. I drop the ball on things sometimes too, but
Yeah.
not 3 times in a row. I'll do that because it's like a waste of my time and their time.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you? You got any of that?
Where they become a liability. I mean, yeah, I think we talked about it on last Friday. Cutting toxic people out of your life. I think
Yeah.
that was either last Tuesday or Friday. I can't remember, but
Days just melt together, man.
yeah, like it. If somebody's draining you, whether it be a family member or oh, that's what we were talking about. That saying that quote that's always misquoted.
Blood is thicker than water thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that now. I remember. Thanks for jogging my memory.
Yeah. Yeah, like a toxic family member. It's called loving them from a distance. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to engage with them unless you want to.
Yep.
Like that has to be your boundary. Same with friends. Same with anybody you don't want to deal with. You have to set that boundary of I will talk to you when I want to talk to you because I'm distancing myself from you. You're not healthy in my life. You're not healthy to me, to my relationship, to anything I have going on.
Yeah.
And it's okay to, I mean, it's okay to say bye-bye.
Two-handed circle.
The two-handed circle in the relationship's huge.
Well, I
And
think
nobody would come into my, I also wouldn't allow it because I never talk poorly about Melissa to anybody else. I don't air our dirty laundry. Like what is said between us stays between us 100%. Because if I were to tell somebody, that's an invitation for them to put their opinion on the relationship, for them to talk shit about her, for them to talk shit about the relationship. I've given them permission by talking to them.
I hear that. Can I talk about the loving it from a distance thing for a
Yeah,
second
yeah,
too?
yeah,
You're also just allowed to leave a
yeah.
toxic relationship without saying a damn thing or closing the door or doing anything. Like that can be the best way. I just want to make that clear to people. Like you don't have to have the last word where like I don't like you now,
No,
you know? Like
no.
you just walk away
Yeah,
quietly and then a lot of times they don't even notice that you're gone and it
yeah.
makes everything so easy. It's like I don't ever have to deal with that again, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
but go ahead.
yeah, like they're gonna call you. It doesn't mean you have to pick up and say, "I'm not talking to you anymore."
Yeah,
You just
totally.
don't answer the damn phone.
Yeah, and they'll quit calling.
They
Like,
will eventually quit calling you.
well, and there's
Like
like,
people are smarter than you give them credit for. They'll get the hint.
yeah, yeah. Well, another thing too is like, I recognized this pretty early on in life that in general, when we communicate, it's because we need something from the other person and not in like a like usury way, but like move your car
Yeah.
or I'm hungry or whatever it is. Like you're communicating in an effort to affect the world around you somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you have people in your life that only communicate for you to do things for them, like they are using you. If you stop picking up, they still need that thing done. They'll find other people.
Yeah.
They'll quit calling you. It's like that whole the jokes about like if you own a trailer, everyone will be your friend. Like if you own these like certain
Yeah.
tools,
Yeah.
everyone will be your friend. And it's like, but yeah, what the hell do you expect, dude? You have like a tool that most people cannot afford and do not have. They are your friends before you had the trailer. You have a trailer now. They're going to
Yeah.
communicate about wanting to use the trailer.
Yeah.
It's not like you picked up a new friend, right?
Doesn't mean you have to say yes.
There's also that. Like, as a matter of
Like
fact,
no is a very powerful word.
can't emphasize how important no has been in my sobriety
Yeah.
because I didn't know how to use the word before, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Saying it's liberating. You should say no once a day.
no.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect.
I I did already have children. I said it a lot today. They just don't listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah. What was that? What was that quote we were talking about last week?
I don't remember. I've slept since then, dude.
I know.
I had
Oh
2
yeah.
shows since then.
Uh it's commonly used, the blood is thicker than water is commonly used to say blood, right? Family ties are stronger than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Um what was I'm trying to find, oh, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which means the exact opposite.
Yeah, the bonds that we choose,
Yeah,
right?
the bonds
Yeah.
that we choose are more important than the bonds we're born to.
And then you
Which that
become
doesn't
blood
diminish,
brothers
that
with
doesn't
someone.
diminish family at all. Like your family is always and should be an important part of your life. But
Yeah.
understanding other relationships are going to come along and they're going to happen and have a huge effect and be super important as well and require the same maintenance and probably even more attention than your family relationships.
Well, and there's really only so many relationships we can actually maintain.
Yeah.
Like, you, because they do take maintenance, folks. Like you
Yeah.
can't, like you don't just, and it doesn't. We're not talking romantic relationships. I'm talking relationships with people in general.
Yeah.
Um, I can't remember Jim. I'm a big fan of Jim Rohn. He's a personal development dude. Um, he had a guest speaker on at one point that was talking about, like, from a sociological perspective, like the most relationships you could actually have given the time they take and all this stuff based on research. And it was actually
Mhm.
a really small number that shocked me. I was like, then I thought about it and I go, that makes sense. I mean, you can have a hell of a lot of acquaintances,
Yeah.
especially if you have a lot of like physical things to give them. Like,
Yeah.
if you have a trailer, you will have a million friends, but those are not relationships.
No.
Like, that's just the people that you exchange time and value with,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, you got to nurture your relationships. Like, you got to call your friends, you like more than once a month, ideally. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's like time consuming.
But there also comes a point in life where, from what I do in my area, your relationship that you build is the most significant and the most important relationship in your life that requires the most attention. Your friends are going to have their own relationships.
Yeah.
They're going to start prioritizing, and if you're prioritizing that friendship, you're going to be hurt because, oh, they went off and started their own relationship. You're going to realize real quick that your friends are going to live their own life eventually.
It's
Like,
messed up.
I know friendships are, as bad as it is to say, friendships are fleeting. Like, you're gonna go on to live your own lives. Some of my strongest relationships with people I've known since high school. I mean, one of them's living in Switzerland right now, and I talk to him maybe once a month, twice a month. But I know that if I ever flew over there, he'd be like, "All right, right there." He would take vacation. It would be on.
Yeah.
I know that he'll come here and see me. Other friends have moved away. It's not that we're not friends anymore, it's that we've all found other relationships that require more of our attention.
Well,
And
I
I
think,
think people lose track of that.
yeah, yeah,
They
like,
wanna live the single version life where it's friends, 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 constantly, constantly, constantly. Then they get in a relationship and they don't understand that that relationship now takes a significant portion of your time, energy, and mental capacity if you
dude,
wanna maintain it correctly.
and it better. Like,
Yeah.
because this may not be a perspective people really love, and I don't quite frankly care. Um, your significant other, like, should be the most valuable single person relationship that you have.
Yeah.
Period.
100%.
You, and then here's the part people might not like. You're gonna have a multi person relationship that exists through work to some capacity, and that one's also pretty damn important too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying spend your time outside of work maintaining and nurturing relationships with people at work, but you
No.
need to be thinking about, from, and this is purely like utilitarian and efficiency related. You spend 40 plus hours a week with these folks at work, you better figure out how to get along with those people.
Yeah.
And you can, like,
Yeah.
even if you don't really like them or whatever, you can get along with them. And then the next person that you spend the most time with is your wife,
Yeah.
like, or whatever, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the hell you want to call
Yeah.
it. But you better figure that out. Like, that better be, like, honestly the priority over the work people, obviously, like, even though you spend more
Mhm.
time with those people, because you're going to change jobs. Those things are going
Yeah.
to shift throughout time. Your partner ideally does not, you don't swap that. Like, that's not the thing that you move around in your life,
No.
you know?
No.
Um,
I
and
think people tend to forget some of that, like, you're building a future with your significant other, you're not building a future with your friends. They're gonna go off and build a future with someone else. "Oh, how dare you say that about somebody's friends?" No, no, no. Like, it
so
is, like, you're either not into that relationship enough to think about a future in it, or that relationship isn't as important to you as your friends. Either way, you have minimized the relationship and prioritized your friends over it.
Bro, if I had the soundboard working, that's a hot take one. That'd be sizzling. Because I mean, I'm with you. I stand behind that statement. Um, I don't think it's the thing people stop to think about enough, though. To
No,
be
they
honest with
don't.
you, I mean, I've been guilty of it too, especially like, well, and just being honest, early on in our relationship, like even in our marriage, I wasn't 100% in it yet.
Yeah,
Like, I didn't know how to be. Like, that's
yeah,
not an excuse for my behavior, but I truly didn't. Like, I didn't have the relational or the emotional capacity at that point in my life to be committed in the way that a person deserves in a relationship.
yeah,
And it had to do with just not have had, I did not pick the knowledge up along the way or the experience to be able to do it.
yeah,
Like, it wasn't like willfully, I'm trying to be a crappy partner. It's just that I didn't have the role models to
yeah,
to teach me, right?
yeah.
Um, could have hired somebody like Ryan and then learned how the hell to do it, right?
Could have.
Um, well, I mean,
I wasn't.
life happened, shit happened. I got kicked in the junk enough times that I kind of started to learn stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's what I would have needed at the beginning was to do that. But I was
It's
also go
yeah.
ahead.
It's not something people like to hear.
No, because I'll figure it out on my own.
Yeah,
I'll do it. I'll figure it out,
yeah,
Ryan.
yeah,
Like, I don't
yeah.
need your help until I'm about divorced, and then I'll call you. We'll ask you to help me now.
Uh-huh.
Like it's not till
Yeah.
face flat in the mud that I need your help now. Like,
Yeah,
can you
yeah,
help me get up?
that's the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the what is it from War of the Worlds? It's like only at the cusp of destruction does mankind know how to make change. Or so that's me
Mhm.
paraphrasing it terribly, but that's like, unfortunately, that's until I don't know, until like my lowest emotional bottom, that was my approach to life. And once I experienced my lowest emotional bottom, I was like, damn, I don't ever have to come here again if I would just
Yeah.
like raise my hand and go, help.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
I screwed up, I'm screwing up, I know I'm screwing up, I need to do something, and then accept the fact that I don't know everything.
yeah, you can accept help and it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You, dear listener, you can.
You
Even if
can.
it's not for anything that he or I do, like just in general, you can. And
Yeah,
it's okay. It doesn't make
yeah,
you weak. It's the opposite, probably, because you're allowed yourself to be vulnerable. And vulnerable people that allow themselves to be vulnerable are very strong. Just
yeah.
so you know. Um, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm also not saying not to have friends, I'm saying that the relationship, 1, should be central focus because that's the future. B, your social networks at some point should start to merge together because that's a signal of a healthy relationship that is moving into the future when your social networks combine.
That makes sense.
Otherwise, you're really just kind of living in these two different worlds with different people, different experiences, and things aren't coming together. Adderall shortage destroying America. Sweet. Cool story.
Thank you, YouTube.
Test Adderall. Test, test, 1, 2, test, test 1.
What is going down, dude? Um, I don't know how an Adderall shortage would be destroying America, but
Anyways, the so
dude.
yeah, what I'm saying is I think people fail to realize they're no longer single.
Hmm.
They fail to merge the relation. They fail to merge social networks. They fail to prioritize the relationship, and they just want to keep living for whatever that purpose was, knowing that when you get in a relationship, single life is done. It's oh so sad. It's over. Like you now have another life that you're responsible for.
Yeah, that you chose also,
You
by the
and
way,
you chose,
guys.
yeah.
Like you're supposed to anyways.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, if I think back to that experience myself, it's like um it was difficult for me to for that transition because there's like grief involved. Like you because I mean I had a lot of shit I still wanted to do, like as a single lad.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not talking dirty single lad things like
Yeah.
Everest and shit like that, right? Which I'm not saying I can't do, but those are back burnered now. Like
Yeah.
when I had a recording studio when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and as soon as we found out that my wife was pregnant, that was the first thing that was on the chopping block. Like the reason I have this nice recording equipment and all these tools is because I used to have a recording studio. Like I did not have to go buy them to start podcasting. Like I just was like, oh, dust,
Yeah.
get it off, you know? But all of that was backburnered so far that it wasn't until what now 7 years later that I bust this microphone out and actually start using it.
Yeah.
Because man, that dream of me like helping people become rock stars or being one myself, like, hey, I got a kid.
Yeah.
I chose to not do that anymore.
But there are also choices. You do have to give up something.
Yeah,
There's always oh there's a consequence to every action, be it positive or negative.
yeah,
Always. The consequence for getting in a relationship is the single life is gone. Like
yeah,
that is the consequence. And maybe some of your things have to be put on the back burner for a little bit while you do this. But here's the thing, you also now have this awesome person you're building a future with, a teammate, somebody to explore new experiences with, create a new life, create new things, support each other in different ways. Like I see the positive consequences as monumental compared to what you're losing going from single to like if you lose a couple single friends, to me, that's worth it.
yeah,
It's like, okay, cool. You still want to live that life? That's not me. I'll still be here. I'll still be your friend, but that's not my jam anymore.
yeah, yeah. I can't go do that stuff with you
Yeah.
anymore, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
I I
I can't and
cannot
I
go to the
won't.
strip club with you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I can't and I won't.
Yeah, totally, totally. Like I'm not interested in doing that anymore.
And also, if
Uh,
they're your friends, they're going to respect it, or at least they should.
yeah.
They should respect you and say, I get it.
Well, remember that toxic people and cutting them out talk we were
Yeah.
having earlier? Like that. There we go. We did the full circle thing
Hey,
again.
we came full circle
We did it like
right
just in
at the
time.
last minute.
Just in time, dude. Yeah, because I mean that. I think like you look at most guys, our relationships with our bros is about activities that we do. We aren't so heavy on the emotional talk, right?
Mhm.
So that's why when you're talking about your friend in Switzerland and stuff, like if you end up in Switzerland, you guys pick right back up where you
Yeah.
left off because like you left off doing the last activity you guys did. Like
Yeah.
nothing's changed since then, right?
No.
And I have some guy, some guy friends that are like that. They're married, they have kids, or some of them aren't,
Yeah.
But there's no love lost with those friends because
No.
there was no vying for each other's attention anymore.
No.
It was just like, oh, that dude's doing his thing. It's not with me anymore.
Yeah.
I'm doing my thing. It's not with him anymore.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Maybe someday we'll go do something cool together again.
Yeah.
And to make sure that maybe we can do that, I'm not going to be a dick because we're not hanging out. Like,
Yeah.
not a big deal. Um,
For me, it comes down to priorities and respect. That's really what it comes down to.
well,
Where are your priorities and do you have any respect for yourself in the relationship?
I mean, I do
I
have
would hope
priorities.
so. I would
And
hope so.
I do have, and I mean, I do my best to remind my wife in both thought, words, and action
Mhm.
that her and the kids are the most valuable thing in my life.
Yeah.
Like that is the only relationships that are of any true, sorry everyone else, of any true value to me at this point. Because they're the ones that no matter what happens, I don't want to see them go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's not to say I don't want to see my friends again or anything like that. But I promise you, no matter how good of a friend I am with you, losing them will hurt me significantly more than hurt like you losing you. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like
Yeah.
it's not because I don't like you. It's just because, you know, you'd have to walk a mile in my shoes to understand, I guess, you know,
Yeah.
you have some empathy.
Yeah.
And that's why it's not difficult to be like, not like this is what matters. Like this is what matters to me. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, I'm not going to let myself get taken out by the thing that hurts me because I wasn't paying attention to things that mean the most to me. Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
damn, I already almost lost my wife once because I was being a dipshit. Like I'm not trying to do it again, dude. Like no, thank you. I've lived that life and it's not ideal for me.
Lesson learned.
Well, yeah, and it's almost funny in a way because it's like I was, like I told you, I was having troubles making that transition, like to truly become vested in our relationship. And then it's like eventually the universe was like, well, let's find out. And I was like, okay, well, then that's what I want. What the fuck?
Dude, I don't know what's happening.
What does that even say?
Not sure
Oh, a
striving to
normie.
be a
Oh, get
normie
out
is
of
the best
here.
choice.
Well, for you, fine, dude. Don't worry about it. Like, clearly, we're not the content you're looking for. But yeah, I think like, um, I don't know. I think that this is the most valuable thing I've ever done. Was
Yeah.
recognizing like, no, this is actually the relationship that means the most to me in my life, and I should fight for it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good realization to have.
Well, Mr. Relationship Coach Dr. Ryan, I sure hope so. You're over in that corner like, nah, dude, you screwed up. Quit trying to be a normie. You should never get married or have kids. Like that sounds like not what you should be saying, you know? But yeah, I think, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I guess I don't hate being a normie. Sorry. Not sorry.
I fucking love it, man.
Right. Yeah, I just think it's funny because it was like when I was so I've been listening to a lot of punk rock lately and a lot of ska.
Okay.
I introduced my children to it.
Yeah.
And like it was cool the other morning. My son was like, "Put Less Than Jake on, Dad," and I was like, "I've done something right." But as I listen to it, I think about my thought processes when I was younger, and it was like I don't want to be like everyone else. And now I've gotten older, and like I'm not saying I want to be like everyone else, but I'm like, there's kind of a reason that there's a bell curve to everything in life.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's because like, I don't know, being a part of the herd doesn't actually suck. And that's why everybody keeps doing it. Like being on the outskirts of some things in society is a detriment to your life. Like, yeah. It's even like as a species, because we wouldn't exist if we weren't mating and stuff. Just throwing that out there.
No.
You know, like thank God that hundreds and thousands of generations before me being born boned so that I could be born. It's pretty sweet, you know?
Yeah. It's pretty fucking awesome. All right, brother. Well, we are at the top of the hour.
We are. Oh yeah, we started late because we were trying to.
My eyes are
Get the
burning.
soundboard to work. Good. Then you go to bed.
It's long. It's been a long one. I'm gonna
Get your contacts out.
We're gonna shut down the office.
Bye.
Live audience over here tonight.
Well, I hope so. Oh, over there. I see what you're saying. Well, cool. I will most definitely be catching you on the flippity flop.
All right, man.
Like on Tuesday.
Yeah. See you Tuesday for the next one.
Thank everybody for checking in. We appreciate you guys. And we will catch you later.
Have a good weekend, y'all.
All right. Bye.
Later.